Hello and welcome to today's workshop. I'm your host, Sterling McKinley, and today we're talking about something that's very important: how to reach customers online with Google. As I'm sure you already know, Google is the world's number one most visited website. So it's imperative that you're there and your business can be found by your customers. So by the end of today's workshop, you will have a firm understanding of how to do that, of how to get your business found on Google and have more customers reach your business. All right, so this is me, Sterling McKinley. I have the honor and pleasure of serving as the DMV Grow with Google coach. I am also a small business owner just like you. My company is called Clarity AI Solutions. So the tips and advice I give this day and the strategies are not something that I read online, that I saw in a book. I live and breathe these things every day in my business. And my goal is to help you understand how to do the same. So, question for you: how do you typically find things you want? Now, pretend you can't see the answer, but think about it. The first thing we do when we want something is what we go to our phones and we go to Google and we found that. So, that's so important when you're talking about your customers. It's all about finding your business. And the thing that I love about the internet that's different than, let's say, radio, TV, print is that when people are looking for your product, your service, they are in buying mode. They want that. So, TV, radio, and print, they tell you what time the program comes on, they tell you when to watch. But when it comes to internet, people are choosing to get action when they're ready to buy. So, the great part about being found on Google is that you are showing up when your customers are looking for your product and your service. And I believe if you show up at that in that moment, you have a greater chance of making a sell for your business. And to go along with more of that, let's talk about connect with in the moment. In the moment. That's really what I was just talking about. Connecting with your customer in the moment when they're looking for a product or service or a company. So 80% growth of search for local business or businesses near me has increased in the last year. 80%. So people are looking for things that are near them, that are close to where they work, where they live, or where they play. Also, 50% increase in searches with the phrase how to save on money now. So people are looking for items online, products and services, and are also looking for the best price online. And I believe that if you show up on Google once again, in that moment, you have a greater chance of your customer reaching out for business and making a purchase from your company. So once again, in the moment, it's so important. You're hitting your customer when they are actively looking for your product. They're not window shopping, they're ready to make a decision. Here's today's agenda. First, we'll talk about how Google search works. And this is very important to have an understanding of how search works, because I believe once you understand how it works, you know how to use it more for your business. Next, we'll talk about how to reach customers online with search engine optimization, also known as SEO. After that, we'll talk about how to create a business profile. And last, we'll talk about how to amplify online with advertising via Google Ads. How Google search works. So, in a nutshell, think about it. It all starts with a search. I said it earlier, but we go to our phones, our laptops, our desktops, our tablets, and it's for a search. We want something. We want to find something out. So we type in mechanic near me. We type in florist near me, something like that. It all starts with that initial search. And then what happens? It ends in an answer. And that's something key I love about Google is remember that people come to search in Google with questions and they're looking for answers. So one way that you can improve your website and get more views is by making sure that your problem speaks to the pain points and answers the challenges that your customers are having. You can show up a few ways on Google search. First, it can be the text ads up top. These are also known as Google Ads. This is where you can show up to your customer via paid ads. Also, organic search. That's where the listing is of your website. So your homepage, about us page. This is a section that you will most likely always show up in. And on to the side, we have your business profile. And this is a snapshot of your business that's available to your clients to see. Let's break down what goes on behind the scenes when someone does a search. So Google ahead of time, it downloads a copy of the web and it scans it. Think about it as that catalog for information. And Google ranks information to show the most useful results. The most useful results. Going back again to having great informative content. If your website has great informative content that's engaging, that's updated on a regular basis, and that answer your questions, answer your customers' pain points, there's a high likelihood that you will come up higher within the search rankings. How to reach more customers with search optimization, also known as SEO. Pretty much what happens when somebody looks for your product or service online. Excuse me. And we'll focus on this section on organic search. That's where your website normally shows up, organic search. And once again, it's showing the websites that are most aligned with what the potential customer looked for. So if they typed in auto mechanic in Baltimore, it's showing those sort of results to them. So let's break down exactly what is SEO. What is SEO? SEO, or search engine optimization, simply stands for the process of making your website better for search engines. That's all it is. It's making sure that you show up as high as possible for your term, for your phrases, for your business name. Why is SEO so important? First, it makes your website more visible. That's the key one. Being seen by your customers, showing your products, your services, and your brand. Also, it allows you to connect with customers. And once again, not any customers, but customers that are actively looking for your products or services that you offer. So in the moment, those customers are seeing your website. And the biggest one, having SEO increases the potential for sales, because the more visibility you have, the more times that your potential customer is seeing you, the more times they can buy from you. So those are some key reasons of why SEO is so important for your business. What are the ways that you can improve SEO? So remember that content is king. Content is king. A way to make sure that you have good SEO is by having good informative content on your website. That brings us to our first topic: publish great content. And what I mean by great content: content that is relevant, content that is original, content that is accurate, and that is useful. That's so important. Your website, you should be the go-to source on whatever your business does. Make sure you have in-depth content that goes into detail, that identifies your customer's problem and offer a solution. The next one is using page titles and descriptions. This is very important. So on the search page of Google, that's all you see. You see a title and description. So making sure you have unique titles that clearly describe what you do, that gives a person a reason to click on that link and come to your website. So tell people, why did you click on your website? And also make sure you have unique page titles and descriptions. So every page on your website should have a different title and description. It shouldn't just say home and about your company. It should be different. And the last one is be organized. You want to make content easy for Google to understand. And not only understand Google, but for your customers. Make your website navigation clear. Don't make it hard to find things. Once again, don't make Google or don't make your customer think too much. Make sure your website is clear and people know where to go to get more information. Some other tips are designing for speed and usability. Speed and usability. The first one is making sure your website loads fast. Time is money. When I come to your website on my mobile phone, if I have to wait 10 seconds for it to load, I'm gone. You only have a few seconds for your website to load and to pull in your customers. A few seconds. So do this. Type in your web address on your mobile phone, on your desktop, and see how long it loads. And you have to remember, as a business owner, customers are impatient. They're not going to wait. If your site loads slow, or doesn't load all, they're gone. They're hitting the back button, going back to Google and finding a website that loads faster. So make sure that your website loads quickly on all devices. Also, test your website on different browsers and devices as well. So that could be on Chrome or another browser or another device. Make sure it looks good on a desktop, on the tablet, and also a mobile phone as well. Remember to think mobile first. Think mobile first, because studies show roughly about half of your visitors are going to come to your website via mobile device. So the likelihood of your customer first coming in contact with your business through mobile is very high. So make sure your website looks good and performs well on a mobile device. Now, what does that mean? They don't have to pinch, zoom, and scroll to find information. That information is a good size. It loads fast, and they can take action from their mobile device. The next step I'm talking about is how to create your business profile. This is very important. Your business profile is a snapshot of your company and your website that shows up on Google search when your customers do a search for a product, service category, your business. And this is a great way to increase visibility and stand up to your customers. And the best part, it is free. It is a free listing on the homepage of Google. You cannot beat that. So in this section, we'll talk more about how to create that profile for your business. And we've all seen this. Having a business profile helps you stand out on Google, because when your customer does a search, it's going to show that profile to your customer. And that profile will list your name, your address, your website, services, all the information. You might be asking yourself, how do I create a profile? So the first thing you have to do, if you don't have a profile, is visit google.com/business. Now, once you get there, you can create your profile. Your profile is great because it's showing Google Maps, Google Search as well. And it's really just another opportunity to connect with customers in that moment when they're searching for a business and they're ready to take action. Also, make the most of your profile. Complete your profile. I don't have any hard stats on this, but I believe that your profile, when it's more filled out, you will get a better response from your customers. So go through and fill out every detail about the business, from the service, from the hours, pictures, videos, reviews, all that stuff needs to be filled out. Also, make sure that your profile is active and lively. So add in pictures, add in photos, give your customers a insight, a view into what they can expect when they also view your business. And also be sure to explore other features of your profile, things like booking, things like products, or things like services. Go through and make sure that your profile is filled out completely. You also have a chance to engage with customers and something called posts. And posts are kind of like social media posts in a sense. So you can have a post about a sale, a post about an event, or just an update. You have your picture and you have your text under that. Next is reviews. Reviews are huge for your profile. This is where customers can give feedback on your business that's public. So encourage your customers to leave reviews, because the more reviews, the better. Make sure you respond to every review, both good or bad. That's important. And if you have a negative review, make sure that you're actually solving your customer problem. Another way to engage your customers, they can actually send you messages via the app as well. So kind of like getting a text message, but it's from your business profile. So these are 3 ways that you can also engage with customers as well. So next steps, if you don't have a profile, once again, visit google.com/business, claim your profile, put your address. The next step is you will have to verify your business. And that can be done via phone, text, email, video, postcard. And once you get that verified, you then get a code that you have to put in your profile settings to have your profile viewed publicly. And while you're waiting, take time to explore your profile. And remember, your profile is living. And this is hard for some people to hear, but digital skills, digital marketing is never done. Your website, social media, SEO is never done. These things are always a work in progress. So you always are fine tuning these things and updating things. So don't create a profile, leave it there for 6 months. No, constantly be checking in daily, weekly, monthly to make sure your profile is the best it can be and that you're responding to any reviews that you have. Also, you can amplify your business online with advertising. Okay. Amplify with advertising. So I had a video here, but it's not playing now. So let's talk more about it. So this is called Google Ads. And we've talked about this before. Google Ads is a way that you can show up on Google search to your customers. So when I type in a name of a product or service, a keyword, you show up in that place. That is very, very, very important. And being that it's called Google Ads or paid search, you're paying to have your ad shown. But remember that you're just not paying to have your ad shown to any customers. The thing that I love about Google Ads is your ad is only showing up to customers that are interested, that are looking for what you sell. Now, that sounds simple, but that's so powerful. Going back again to TV, radio, or print, you pay for these services, but you are hitting everybody. Everybody on TV seeing the ad. Everybody in the paper and radio is seeing or hearing the ad. The thing that makes Google Ads different is you're targeting your ideal customer. So you're not going to waste time showing your ad to people that don't care about your product. That's really amazing. So what's that going to do? That's going to optimize your budget. It's going to increase your conversion rate. Why? Because you're preaching to the choir, people that are already looking for your thing. So if I'm looking for hot dogs, right? I watch TV. I may see commercials for hot dogs, not hot dogs, but hamburgers, seafood, all this stuff. But if I do a search on Google for hamburgers, I'm only going to see ads that are about hamburgers. And the thought is, if I'm seeing ads that are in line with my search, the chances of me clicking on the link and then calling it business, they go up. So keep that in mind. I want to talk more about how ads can appear on Google and also partner websites. So once again, people looking for your product or service, one of the great things about Google Ads is you can control your ad spend and your budget, which is great. So there's no predetermined budget. If you do traditional media, it may say that, hey, you need to pay $500 a month, $500 a day to run your ads. With Google Ads, you set your budget. You set your own ads. You have control. And that sounds simple, but that's so powerful. If you run an ad on TV or radio or print, once you pay for your ad, it's out there. And it takes days or weeks to change that creative. If you run a billboard, at least the old ones that are just an image, that can't change every day. But the thing I love about Google Ads is you have ultimate control. You can change your ad every day if you want. You can make tweaks to your bidding, to your targeting anytime you want. So you have control over how much you spend. And Google Ads will give you a estimate saying if you spend this amount of money, you get this amount of clicks or this amount of clicks. So there are some parameters, but you will control the spend. You will control. You can stop and start your ads anytime you want. So if you're saying ads are going good, if you're having a slow week, you can pause it. If the opposite, you're seeing the ad is doing well and you're looking for more sales, you can add money to your budget to reach more customers. So it's very flexible. And the other thing that makes running ads on Google very, very important is you only pay when the customer takes action. I'll say it again. You only pay when a customer takes action. So your ad may be seen on Google by a customer. That's called an impression when your ad shows, but that doesn't mean you get charged for that. So somebody literally could see your ad and just call you, or branding. They get to see your image, your company over again, and then feature. They take action, but in the moment, you only pay when somebody clicks on the ad and then they come to your website. So once again, pay per click. You're only paying when somebody clicks on your ad and then comes to your website. And the last thing is that Google Ads excels at being trackable and measurable. And once again, no other form of advertising can say this, but you can track every single click on your ad, and you can find out where it came from, what time of day, what device they were on, what page they landed on, what ad they landed on. That kind of transparency, kind of tracking is not available on any type of advertising, at least that I'm aware of. And also measurable. You can actually see what actions, what clicks led to a sale. TV, radio, and print can do that. They'll give you a rough estimate of who saw your ad and what happened and how it's being measured. But the beauty of being on Google Ads is you can see exactly where your money is being spent, and you can see what's working, what not working. So maybe you get a lot of clicks on your ads, but you're seeing that I get clicks, but the clicks don't convert into paying customers. Then that lets you know that you need to change your creative, change the messaging of your ad or your offer to be more aligned with your customers' wants as well. Also, you can show up on partner websites. So you will show up just not on Google, but other partner websites. So your customer will see your ad in other places online. And that creates this effect in their mind that you are serious about what you do, that you're good at what you do. So it's really all about impressions. I want you to remember that we all think that one of my prior jobs, I worked in radio, and the customer told me I don't need the one, I need the one run ad during the day, and people will call me from that. But that's not marketing. We all know the saying that on average it takes 7 to 10 interactions with a brand before somebody takes action. 7 to 10. And that's true online as well. So yes, maybe they hear your ad on the radio, they see it in print, they see a billboard, a poster on TV, they see it online, and eventually they'll click that. So don't fall into that trap of thinking that as soon as you put an ad online, you will get 1 million clicks and 1 million sales the same day. It doesn't work like that. You build over time and grow. And remember that your customers are ready to purchase, but they're still comparing your company to other company and brands. So yeah, you might have a great site, a great ad, but they're still gonna look at the competition and see what they're offering as well. So once again, don't fall into that trap thinking that the first time somebody comes or clicks that it makes a purchase. The name for that is called attribution. And that's when you're trying to assign what actions led to sell. That can be hard to do. You can do that with Google Ads and also with analytics. But that's very important to remember that the first visit of your site may not result in a sale. And when we talk about that, thinking about convergence. So when we say convergence, the first thing we think is business owners is making the sale. But that's not the only conversion. That is the ultimate conversion, but a conversion could be reading a blog post. It could be downloading a PDF from your website. It could be signing up for your newsletter. It could be booking an appointment. And all of these conversions, they're not necessarily a sell, but they're an action that the customer is taking that may lead to a sale. So keep that in mind as well. So you may not make a ton of sales actually on your website, but what about if the um, target of your ad is to increase phone calls or to increase bookings? And then when your customer calls you, you can sell them on the phone, or once you have that consultation, you can do review your service and close them from there. So think about that. It's not always the straight sell, but it's the steps that lead to a sell. So a conversion is any action that the customer takes. So keep that in mind. But in a nutshell, that's how your ads appear on Google and how they appear on partner websites. You can also start advertising with smart campaigns. Now, I've been doing Google Ads, formerly Google AdWords, for years now, and I won't say it's difficult, but there was a lot of options, a lot of settings that had to be turned on, and if some are off, it could cost you money. So Google Ads now has been simplified, and it's called Smart Campaigns. And this is a great way for new advertisers that don't have a lot of experience to quickly and accurately set up an ad. So Smart Campaigns can be set up and get running in a few steps. And the great thing about Smart Ads is that Google now is doing a lot of the not all of it, but some of the work for you, as far as recommending keywords, as far as help you create creative or ad copy. That's the beauty of Smart Campaigns. It's looking at your website, your competitors, and making suggestions for you instead of having you build the entire campaign or ad from scratch. So let's dive more into Smart Campaigns. This is the Smart Campaigns checklist. And these are the questions that you want to ask yourself. First, decide, what is the goal? What action should people take? Think about that with your ad. Once again, we ought to make a sell, but it could be, I want to generate phone calls. I want to generate leads. I want to fill out my contact form. I want them to book an appointment. Think about the goal of that and make sure your ad speaks to that goal. Next is make sure that you connect your Google ad to your business profile, or make sure that you enter business information as well. Next, identify or create relevant web pages to connect your ad to. This is very key. So don't send your customers to the home page of your website because they will get lost. So, for example, if I'm a restaurant and we sell seafood and we sell poultry, I write an ad about seafood, and the customer clicks on my ad and it goes to my homepage that's talking about seafood and poultry. Don't do that. Why? Because that's going to feed your customer. Send them to a page that talks just about poultry. So they type in poultry, they see that in your ad, and now the landing page, what they call it, is the destination page or your URL. That is a page that speaks to just poultry. Once again, do not make your customers think. Do not break that line of thought. They are thinking that way. They saw the ad, they clicked on it. Make sure that the website has the same messaging, the same target is very key. And also, that's the way that you can measure the performance of your campaigns. So don't have a catch-all ad. Have an ad that talks about poultry, that talks about seafood, and you can have 2 pages, and now you can track what page does better. Next, write compelling ad copy. This is key, but write an ad that sells your business, that highlights the features and benefits of your product, your service, and why they should choose your company. So don't write a boring ad. Write an ad that really sticks out, that really sells your product or your offering. Next, you want to choose keyword themes and locations where your ad can appear. So keyword themes used to be just keywords. Now we have keyword themes because let's say your keyword is poultry. Okay, that's your keyword, but that's very broad. They could type in chicken. They could type in other things like that that have to deal with that main keyword. So that's what a keyword theme is. They might not type in an exact word, but a keyword theme or other words that are associated with that keyword. Also, where that ad appears. This is another thing I love about Go Ads. So you can control where your ad appears. So if you run an ad on traditional media, it might show in the whole state. But with Google Ads, you can say, I want to show my ad in Baltimore and in Towson. I'm going to show my ad just in Annapolis. And you can target those areas. So your ad will only show in those areas. So you can run you can run ads where your customers are and where they're not. Or you can run ads around your business location. So maybe your business has 5 locations in Maryland. Fine. Don't run ads over the whole state. Run ads in those zip codes or those cities where you have a location. And that is one way also that you can improve your spend and get a higher conversion rate. The next thing is set up a daily budget. You control this. I would suggest starting off with a smaller budget and then over time growing, but you set your budget. You can stop, change, or add your budget anytime you want. And the last step is launching your campaign. And I would say before you launch, make sure that you view your campaign. Make sure that it's saying the right things, the right keywords, the right locations, the settings are correct. Because if not, you could launch a campaign and that campaign could be awesome and you lose money. You don't want to do that. So before you launch your campaign, make sure you review it and make sure that all your settings are accurate. Now let's go there step by step. So the first one is go to Go Ads, enter your business name. Next one is enter your website. And remember, this may not be your homepage. It may be a page on your website about a product or service. So keep that in mind. You can always change this later, but this is where you enter your website. The next step is to enter the landing page. And once again, the landing page is the page where customers are sent to once they click on your ad. And this to make sure that landing page matches up with the ad. So if you're talking about cars in your ad, make sure it goes to a page about cars, not to a page about cars, trucks, and boats. Make sure it's a good experience. And also, too, you can test how that page will look on a mobile device and also on a desktop. Next is create a goal. This was in our checklist, but the goals are important. Ask yourself, what do you want potential customers to do after they see your ad? Not make it sell. That happens great, but it could be a phone call. It could be book an appointment. It could be come to your store. Think about that. And based on what your goal is, that will shift some of the settings of your campaign. The next one is writing your ad. This is very important. Writing a compelling ad. And ads have a few key points to it. You have an ad that has 3 headlines and 2 descriptions. And the headline is important because that grabs your attention. Also, you can include a clickable call button. So somebody can click a button on your ad and they can call you a service. They can click a map icon and get direction to your store as well. But writing an ad is very important. And I recommend creating variations of your ad, maybe 2 to 3. It can have similar matching, but change up some of the keywords that you have in your ad as well. And I would like to see having the keyword in your ad. So if your keyword is poultry, have seafood in the headline in that copy because it just stands out to your customer more and it keeps that thought pattern going. Add keyword themes. Once again, themes are great because your customer may not type in your exact keyword, but a keyword that's closely related. So choosing themes that can help match your ad to your customer search is very important. Setting a location is also very important. So I said this earlier, but you don't have to target the whole state. You can target address, zip codes, regions, or if you want, cities or regions as well. But it's very important. You want to run ads where you believe your customers live. So, for example, I worked with a business owner a few years ago, and they were running ads on Google. And I told them, for your restaurant, you should run ads around business parks. Why? Because lunchtime, people are looking up what to buy for lunch, restaurants near me, and they're looking for your business. They did that and they saw great results. Why? Because they were targeting places where their customers already are or were. So keep that in mind about setting up location based on where you believe your customers may live. And even saying that is funny because think about it. If you worked in DC, you may live in, I don't know, somewhere in Maryland or Virginia, right? So a bad approach would be targeting ads where people live because they're living in another state and your restaurant is not near there. So once again, targeting where they work, downtown DC, these places is great because why? Your restaurant is near these places. So think about that. Not just targeting where your clients live, but the places they are when they're ready to buy your product. Make sure that you're running ads there as well. Next, you can set in a budget. There's no set budget. Google Ads stuff is kind of a good, better, and best estimate of what you can expect. But you can set your own budget. You can see estimate monthly clicks as well. And you can stop and start change this at any time. And the last one I said earlier, but review your campaign. Make sure settings are accurate because if not, you're going to lose money. So review your ads. Have a friend look at your ads and make sure they are correct. And after that, set up billing. Somebody use your credit card, debit card to put in billing. And once again, you'll be billed only, I believe, monthly. But when somebody takes an action, you're not being charged for your ad being shown. And one question I get a lot is ad fraud. So Google does track that as well. So God forbid, let's say one of your customers competition is coming to your website and clicking on your ad 20 times. Google sees that it's coming from the same IP address, same computer, and they're going to block that and you'll get a refund for that money. So you don't have to worry too much about ad fraud because Google is checking to make sure that clicks that come to your page are accurate and not something that's false. So some more tips how to improve your ad. Create ad variants. I mentioned that creating 2-3 ads. So it's the same ad, but change up the copy, the landing page, see what works. Also add negative keywords, and negative keywords are keywords you don't want to bid on. So once again, if I'm running ads on poultry, I don't want to bid on beef or seafood ads. You can put that in Go Ads to not show your ads on those keywords. Also, schedule when your ads will appear. That's another key hack. So, once again, if you only open Monday through Friday, maybe it's not the best idea day to run ads on Friday and Saturday. Or if you're a restaurant again and people are on the weekends, your ad spend should be focused on lunchtime, Monday through Friday. Also, be sure to monitor your performance and progress. Log in daily is tough, but at least weekly and monitor your progress, see what's working and what's not working. And remember, anytime you can edit or you can pause anything that you create. Now, moving on to recap and resources. Once again, there are 3 main ways that you can appear on Google search to your customer. Google Ads, which are tech ads where you pay that. organic ads, which are the listing, not ads, I'm sorry, listings of your website and so on. And also setting up a business profile. I recommend for in business trying to be in all three or at least two of the areas, organic results and business profile, because I'm big on visibility. And the more that you show up to your customer, I believe increases the chances of them click on your link, your ad, and come to your business. And I think visibility is so important in this economy now, that you is visible to your customer. And appearing on Google in various places is a way to increase that visibility. Now, next steps, we talked about SEO, showing up on Google search. A few ones. You can go to Google Trends. You can do the mobile friendly testing and also Search Console. The address listed here on the screen. Also, if you don't have one, you can set up a profile on Google Business as well. Simply visit google.com/business. And also, we talked about Google Ads, where you can set up ads and be seen by potential customers. Simply visit ads.google.com. So I want you to think about this. What will you do today to grow your online presence? What will you do today to grow your online presence? Now, I just talked to you for about 45 minutes, give you a lot of tips, a lot of things. But what is the one action that you'll take today that could help grow your online presence? Think about that. Write it down and make that your priority, your goal for next week. What's one action that you can take to grow your online presence? Also, here's a screenshot of resources to help you along the road with SEO and other tools as well. Simply just click on or take a screenshot of any one of these um, uh, programs and get more information on that. Also, if you enjoyed today's workshop, guess what? We have a channel on YouTube called Grow with Google. This channel is regularly updated with videos about different things to grow your business, your career as well, and tips. These videos are great. They're from the source. Simply visit youtube.com/grow with Google to watch more videos. Also, we offer something called Google Career Certificates. You can get qualified in in-demand jobs in high growth fields, ranging from data analytics to cybersecurity, you design, IT support, and also project management. To find out more about the certifications that are self-paced, you can visit grow.google/certificates. So, saying that, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to ask to do me a favor. So, I just took my time and I share with you about how to be seen more on Google. Do me a favor, take your phone and just scan this QR code on the screen, and you can leave feedback and review to the team at Grow with Google about this workshop and what you like. So, saying that, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.